Welcome to the lunation situation. We are going to talk about the full moon in the sign of Virgo, occurring 24th of February at 12:30 midday GMT. So adjust for your local time zone. The full moon occurs at 5 degrees of Virgo. That means that it activates anything you have around that point in your own chart, but that it also activates, with some tough love placements at 5 degrees of Sagittarius, 5 degrees of Gemini, and 5 degrees of Pisces. That's going to be the opposition. And it's going to benefit anything you have in earth signs. So if you have anything around 5 degrees of Taurus or 5 degrees of Capricorn, that's going to get a little kiss from this full moon. But the tough aspects, which we call the mutable signs of Sagittarius, Gemini, and Pisces, if you have anything at those points, 5 degrees, then you might feel something closing out. Because this is a full moon, a cycle is coming to completion, especially a cycle that started with the new moon in Virgo 6 months ago. And that new moon was actually really powerful. So this is a checking in point, because actually 6 months from February 24th, we have an eclipse in Pisces, but these are interlinked, and it's a very detailed astrological story that I don't want to go into right now. But the new moon that occurred in Virgo back in September, and the eclipse that's going to happen in Pisces in October-ish, these are linked. It means that we have 12 months in the area of Virgo to complete something major. And this lunation, this full moon in Virgo, is a checking in point on that 12-month storyline. So 6 months ago, there was a new moon in Virgo occurring at 22 degrees, which was on September 15th of 2023. With that new moon in Virgo, September 15th of last year, a storyline started, and it has to do, as I said, it's very detailed, but I will go into the analysis when the eclipse hits that point on September 18th of this year of 2024. But the reasoning is because of the pattern that the new moon, September 15th of 2023, was making. It was making a kite, which is, it's like a launch of energy, especially with a new moon. And the same pattern, even though it's a full moon, a lunar eclipse, September 18th of 2024, that same pattern, the kite, is returning. And because that is an eclipse upcoming, so 6 months later, it's going to be major, and it's just a really big cycle of things closing out. And specifically in my theory, it is closing out something that happened September 15th of last year. And why do I mention it here? Because that was the new moon in Virgo, where this lunation, the full moon in Virgo, is a medium wrapping up of that energy that started in September 15th of last year. But that energy is gonna return in upcoming 6 months, September 18th. Okay, do you get it? So there's a 12-month storyline that I see in the patterning of those lunation charts, and this being a full moon in Virgo, it means that it's like it's the half of the story, right? So this lunation, this full moon in Virgo, gives you an insight into what is ending regarding this Virgo Pisces storyline in your life. As I said before in other videos, you know, it is very beneficial to look at astrology as having, in essence, only 6 signs, because everything is an opposition of the other sign. And specifically in this storyline, this 12-month storyline, it's very handy to look at it that way as well, especially here because it's a full moon. So naturally, the opposition is taking place between Virgo and then on the other side, Pisces, which is again an energy, the Piscean, but also Virgo, that is wrapping up majorly in the coming 6 months. So anyway, this is a checking in point, and you will see what last 6 months was about, specifically anything you have, as I said, at that 5, around that 5 degrees, so you could say between, depending on where your planet is, but between like 0 degrees of the mutable signs up to 10 degrees of the mutable signs are affected, especially with this lunation. So something is wrapping up, something is coming to closure, something where you can reap your Virgo fruits. And what could that be? Well, fruits to your labor, because Virgo is a very dedicated sign that loves to work, and it loves to be of service, and it loves to take care. So this is, you know, the sign of like nurses and caretakers, and you know, the love for pets and animals, and you know, it's Virgo is very much about organizing your life, getting it straight, being very practical and realistic about your goals, making the plans to achieve them, and then one by one checking off those boxes so that you come closer to your ideal of what you want. And there is always that service element. So you always, with Virgo, want to help others, or be a beneficial factor for the greater good, which means other people or animals or anything like that. And it's also about wellness. So this is also about alternative medicine, healing the body and mind, because it's mercurial ruled. You know, and that's a very mental energy that Mercury rules, and it's very much in its origin about communication. So Virgo can also be very much about writing, and that whole organizational process that Virgo goes through is very mental, right? And that whole rational, practical approach to life, it's very mercurial. But it's also about wellness, as I said. So healing body, mind, and you know, taking care of your nutrition, taking care of your body, you know, doing either exercises or long walks or whatever fits your body and mind balance. But this is where you also check in with your body and make sure that your health is your priority. It occurs at 5 degrees of Virgo, which means there's a flare of Leo to this energy. That could mean that, you know, for the balance of the body and the mind, a creative outlet would be beneficial, or, you know, to express yourself more boldly and to be more courageous in those goals you have and in the actions you take. And this is so where you put yourself in the forefront more, become more center stage, you know, in your life story, and possibly something about entertainment and children is also going on then during this full moon in Virgo. So when we look at the chart, immediately you see that it's, you know, a full moon, it means that the moon is opposite the sun, right? So it means that when we look at the sun, which is 5 degrees of Pisces, it's busy. So the opposite side of the moon is having a little party. And, you know, maybe the party is not that great because we have Saturn there, which is, you know, sobering the energy and bringing, just like Virgo, that work element into it, and seriousness and discipline, which actually maybe in Pisces is needed to get things done and to be more straightforward, because the Pisces energy can be easily distracted. It's the sign of procrastination, really, and daydreaming and fantasy and even illusions where you could live in. So Saturn is just bursting that bubble. There is no illusion. We're living in the reality. We're facing what is. And in Pisces, we're not only facing what is, but where it came from, which is the depth of your subconscious mind. So where, you know, Virgo, the opposition, is very much about body, mind, very physical life, very tangible, you know, noticeable elements of your life. In Pisces, the opposition, where the sun and Saturn is, it is the intangible. So it's more about, you know, the trauma or the emotions that cause things in your body and mind. So Pisces is known to be excellent for healing on a very deep level. So you could say that the axis between Virgo and Pisces is very much about Virgo being the body and mind, and then Pisces being the soul. And so when we want to bring these two into an equilibrium, into balance, we're talking about a balance between body, mind, and soul. So the sun and Saturn are operating on a soul level. So there is a revelation, an understanding, a more consciousness, more awareness about that unseen root cause of the body, mind, and soul connection, and to heal whatever is disrupting that dynamic. So harsh truths could come out, even just harsh things you realize about your life, right? Because full moons are always about illumination. So suddenly what was dark, what was hidden, is now seen and has to be faced, right? So it's in front of you. It's in your face. So Saturn is, with the sun, is bringing it in your face. And it's an excellent moment to heal deep issues within the self. And that is enhanced by another little thing that's going on in the background. But the North Node is meeting Chiron in this lunation. I mean, 1 degree apart, but very close. And it means, as I said, deep healing of the self, of who you are, who you feel you are, who you want to present yourself as, and to deal with insecurities and, you know, stand stronger and taking charge over your life, being the leader of your life and of your life goals. So this is where, once you know who you are, because that's very powerful, you can now go after the goals that are aligned with your true self. And this element of the North Node and Chiron is helping that. So the sun and Saturn are showing us that we're going really deep with the healing work. We're facing some really deep emotions that might easily bubble up around this time. But this is where we let go. We let go and we process, we integrate these emotions. You know, awareness, the noticing of these things is so valuable, because once you see what it is and just, you know, confront it as is, it's much easier to accept whatever is going on or whatever was causing things in your life, blockages in your life that came from very deep layers of the self, maybe deep layers of the soul that you weren't aware of. Maybe, you know, it's things that go much deeper than even just this life. You know, the Pisces is energy is very vast, very it's very far in our galaxy, very far from the sun, you know, Neptune that rules Pisces. So it's those energies that we aren't very aware of, but they play a big role in your life because this is only a little part of you, right? So you're just playing out this identity that you, this life, this body that you inhibit. And then you move on, and what happens next, you know, and it's time to ask those questions, and it's definitely time to answer, who are you, in essence, and at the deepest layers of yourself. The ruler of this lunation, as I said, is Mercury, and Mercury is really close to the sun. And actually 4 days after this lunation, we're going to have a Sun-Mercury cazimi, as they say. So Mercury moves into the heart of the sun, where it becomes more enlightened and, you know, again, revelations and insights that our mind receives. But here it's already very close, and it means that Mercury is part of this full moon. And next to the sun and Saturn, as I just explained, it brings the element of news. It brings the element of information on a conscious awareness. So this is where your consciousness and your unconsciousness or your subconsciousness meet, so you can integrate and become in that balance of body, mind, and soul, right? And as I said, because the full moon is in Virgo, there's an element of work here. There's an element of labor and effort that needs to be taking place. So, you know, this is a moment also for active healing, or if you have done a lot of active healing, then a full moon can bring in some gifts as well to that healing journey. And it's just, this situation is just confirming that there's a great balance possibly here with body, mind, and soul. And for me, for instance, just to give a specific example that's very Virgo and very displacement in Pisces, I have been taking great care of my nutrition because I have become aware of, obviously very realistic, but just, you know, some things take time. That what you eat affects you dramatically. And I was pushed into clean eating, and I had to, like, you know, take greater care of my bowels and all that. So that has been a journey for, well, with this lunation, like 2 months. So for me, this could be, you know, reaping the fruits of taking care of your body, and how that obviously affects your mind, and how being grounded in your body gives you, you know, by taking care of it, obviously, you know, by taking care of what your nutrition is and taking care of yourself in other ways, it makes your connection with your soul stronger, because your body is the ultimate vehicle. Without your body, you're nothing in this life. So, you know, Virgo is always being really strong about this, reminding us of how important the body is, how important your physical health is. And once more here, it could go both ways. Either you reap the fruits of taking care of your body and mind, or, you know, health issues could also come up. And Virgo rules the bowel system, and so active bowels could actually occur around this full moon. But it's really, really, in all seriousness, very important to take care of yourself, your body, and to be very one with your body, because in my opinion, your body is the messenger, not only a vehicle, but it continuously communicates with you. And unfortunately, in this modern day, it's quite an art to be able to tap into your body and to actually be able to listen to it, because it always communicates. It always tells you what isn't great for what you're consuming, or that you're under stress, or there are things that your body's saying no, but because you can't read the signals, or you don't understand, or you're not connected enough with your body, or even worse, disconnected with your body, then you don't know that you're receiving this information until your body is like, I'm warning you. And that looks like a health issue until you're not even listening to that, and it becomes worse, right? So this vehicle needs to be taken care of really well, and this is a checking in point, definitely also on that. There is a positive aspect that this chart is also making, and it means that Jupiter in Taurus at, let's say, 10 degrees, Jupiter is sextiling the sun, meaning it's really working with that whole healing process and, becoming emotionally aware and just doing the deep, realistic work to heal your body and your emotions. This could be by singing or enjoying life more. And the moon is making a trine, so it's very beneficial. So that's nice. We might feel very uplifted, especially after, a lot of the issues are removed. This is again a sign that maybe you're reaping some fruits to taking care of yourself. It's just really positive, and it means that we could enjoy ourselves more during this lunation, and that we need to also be aware of the pleasures of life, the joy of life, the upliftment that is the motor to our vehicle. It's those sensations and the emotions we need to move forward as well in life. It's like the anchor, the foundation of joy and pleasure you need to make all that work and effort, be worthwhile, right? This is where you become also very aware of what you enjoy and bring more of that into your life, so that it's not, it's not that harsh or cold. This moon lunation brings in great growth of also something very tangible. So one of the gifts you could receive if you've done the work, if you've done the Virgo work, is that something physical could show up in your life, because the trine here between the moon and Jupiter is between earth signs, right? So it's very realistic, very tangible, very practical results. And Jupiter just makes them bigger. So there's a bigger also focus on health, nutrition, having a game plan for your life. Then the moon is making another interesting aspect, which is called a yod, which is the finger of God. And it's pointing to the moon. So the focus is on the Virgo energy, but there's an odd relationship between, on the other side, Neptune in Pisces and Pluto in Aquarius. This is very on the soul level and deep healing of issues that affect your soul, affect your energy, affect your aura and your emotional psyche. And so I feel that, again, like the sun and the Saturn on the opposition of the moon, this time can bring in very deep healing on a soul level. And you might experience a release where maybe possibly more flow can come into your life, because on a deep energetic level, you have been able to solve some things. And I hope that is the case for you. It means that there's just a very profound, deep element about this lunation that I said is beyond your life now, beyond this identity that you are playing out right now. So maybe it's also good to tap into more of your intuition around this time, to take that serious, to do a little meditation or prayer so that you can really feel into that soul level, because something is occurring very deep within yourself. And we should be able to feel that around this lunation. On the background, we have one more interesting thing going on, and that is that our personal planets, our masculine and feminine energies, are almost conjunct 8 and 9 degrees of Aquarius. And what is very interesting is that they, around this lunation, have just met up with Pluto. And it means that the new ingress of Pluto into Aquarius that occurred in 2024 is, by this lunation, met by all the personal planets. So Mercury has touched Pluto, Venus has touched Pluto, Mars has touched Pluto, and even all the luminaries have touched Pluto, because Pluto ingressed into Aquarius together with the sun. And obviously, you know, the moon has passed that as well. They have all been empowered by Pluto, and they have all undergone massive transformation and more understanding of these new Aquarius themes that will be in the forefront for the coming 20 years. So it means parts of ourselves, very freshly, very in a small way, because it's the first transit this year at least, they have met the Aquarius theme and integrated that, meaning we have. So our mind, our feminine side, our masculine side has been introduced to whatever Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring up. And here they are together. So here, Mars and Venus, after undergoing massive transformation, are meeting up and having a conversation. So the masculine and the feminine meet. And at 8 and 9 degrees of Aquarius, something significant is occurring. We are balancing the masculine and feminine energies within ourselves. And it is, as I said, part of that new Aquarius age where we are harmonizing the masculine and feminine energies. We are moving beyond them and breaking away from classical gender roles and creating very new concepts about the masculine and the feminine, and how when those two meet, we have much healthier relationships and more truth on what happens when these two are balanced, you know, so more honorable relationships, more evolved relationships. And I think we might be able to feel that around this lunation as well, because these are personal planets, these are close to us, and we all have feminine and masculine aspects within ourselves. So it's quite a revolutionary energy of those gender roles or that parts of ourselves. And they are squaring with Jupiter in Taurus. So it's bringing quite some conflict and unease and difficulty to what we have known about these roles, and maybe been very conservative about what is a masculine, and what is a feminine, and that we have not very much understood until now, that masculine has feminine aspects and a feminine has masculine aspects, and if those are not balanced, you do not have healthy individuals. This is all highlighted by that Aquarius, Mars and Venus, and it's breaking apart these classical conservative roles and these concepts that we have about these masculine and feminine ideas. And Jupiter is bringing in also the questions, the philosophical implications, the wisdom to, in a way, as I said, break conservative ideas, break apart religious ideas, bring more autonomy into your body and what you need and what kind of pleasures you have. And that is linked to that masculine and feminine, what you enjoy, probably sexually as well. And that on the one side, as I said, it's breaking apart the conservativeness, and that's obviously going to create conflict and uneasiness. And as I said, it could be religious based as well because of Jupiter. On the other side, Jupiter and these Mars and Venus situation is pushing us to create a new reality, to gain new wisdom, and to push these ideas forward so that we do find more pleasure and that we do enjoy our lives more and find out what that is, but from a balanced masculine and feminine place, and not where these roles have been really have really had some problems where most of us have not been able to fully live the masculine or the feminine or both sides of the self, and that is so valuable, and that we're going to find that out around this energy. And as I said, this lunation is such an interconnected energy between the new moon in Virgo, September 15th, but then because of the patterning and the involvement with Virgo as well, but it's called the full moon in Pisces, and actually it's an eclipse, a lunar eclipse on September 18th of 2024. So these dates you need to check in on and see what is occurring in your life. And all three dates are actually massive endings. The September 15th is where something started, a new storyline started around health and healing and life goals, and being very practical and realistic about them, and really wanting to achieve, being motivated and disciplined to get things done. And then this lunation, and then the lunation in September 18th, brings in the storyline of endings. So it's taking away stuff that is holding you back from that practical reality that you want to see, and that is taking away everything that is obstructing your healing journey. And this is, as I said, a very deep understanding, a reality of the connection between the body, mind, and soul, and how you want to achieve that more, and you need to do to make that your reality. So write that down, make that list, and see what connections happened between September 15th of 2023, February 24th of 2024, and also September 18th of 2024. Something big is occurring in your life, and probably this is definitely also going to play out in the collective around us. So yeah, happy full moon in Virgo. It's getting dark. But the dark means that if you face it, more light can enter your life. Happy full moon in Virgo, and I will see you in the next lunation situation. Take care.